call the meeting to order. Everyone could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
You don't know
The flag is in the... I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is Kristen here? She's out in the hall. Yeah, she's just here.
As you well know, Shane with the
Alrighty, let's play ball here, boys.
Good evening, and welcome to the annual budget meeting of Regional School Unit number 38. Is it on? Can you hear me? Okay. I'll say it again. Good evening and welcome to the annual budget meeting of Regional School Unit number 38. I'm Dr. Karen Smith, Superintendent. This is my first annual budget meeting with this district, and I'm grateful to be here this evening, working alongside this board, our administrators and staff, and the residents of Manchester, Mount Vernon, Reedfield, and Wayne to serve our students. I call this meeting to order. Tonight, you're being asked to consider the fiscal year 2027 school budget warrant. That budget was developed over more than 6 months of work by the administrative team, the budget committee, and the board of directors, with multiple opportunities for community input. The board approved the budget recommended for your consideration on April 15. Your votes this evening will shape what goes to the budget validation referendum on June 9th. Before we take up Article 1, I'd like to introduce Kristen Wilcox, the Reedfield Town Clerk, who will assist us with the election of the moderator. We will now take up Article 1. I will now entertain a motion to nominate a moderator.
I move to nominate Richard A. Spencer as moderator to preside at said meeting.
second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Clerk Wilcox will now ask for any further nominations from the floor and conduct the written ballot as needed. Okay, thank you, Clerk Wilcox. Mr. Spencer, would you please come forward?
Someone needs to write a ballot.
They need to write
Sorry.
on the ballot.
A couple of people.
She needs to hand them out to a couple of people.
Someone. Okay. Okay, now, Mr. Spencer, would you please come forward? Before you take the chair, I'll administer the oath of office. Do you, Richard Spencer, swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Maine so long as you shall continue to be a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully discharge to the best of your abilities the duties incumbent on you as a moderator of the Regional School Unit number 38 budget meeting on May 13th, 2026, according to the Constitution and the laws of the state of Maine?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. The chair is now yours.
Thank you, everyone, for electing me. One of my partners drove all the way up to Aroostook County to be the moderator, and then he lost the election. As a first order of business, I would ask the ballot clerks to come forward and raise their, maybe you can stay right there. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Maine so long as you shall continue to be a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully discharge to the best of your abilities the duties incumbent on you as ballot clerk of the Regional School Unit number 38 budget meeting on May 13th, 2026, according to the Constitution and laws of the state of Maine? Thank you. So with that, before we actually get to the articles, I'd like to just briefly go over the procedures for the meeting. Unless there's an objection, I'll try to run the meeting according to the Maine Moderator's Manual, which is the rules that you are probably familiar with for running town meetings, except for one thing, which is that under Maine statutes, at a school budget meeting, if 10% of the people ask for a written ballot, then we have a written ballot. Under the Maine Moderator's Manual, it takes 50% to require a written ballot. So because that's in the statute, I will follow that rule. The other thing is that it requires a vote of the meeting to allow non-residents to speak at the meeting. And my understanding is that there are some administrative staff for the RSU who are sitting in the back, and they may be able to answer questions about the finances or about particular topics. So I'd like to ask for a motion to allow Steve Rose, Jeff Boston, Michelle Lafarge, Cal Dorman, Mike Muir, and Michelle Hood. Did I get those right? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay, they'll be permitted to speak if questions come up. The other thing is that as the articles come up, if you want to make an amendment to the article, come up to the mic, identify yourself, and then propose the amendment. If the amendment is seconded, we'll discuss the amendment first and vote on it, and then go back to the main article. What I won't do is allow an amendment to an amendment, because it just gets too confusing. And if you allow that, you'd have to allow an amendment to an amendment to an amendment, and you could go on forever and no one would know what they were voting on, and I wouldn't either. So we'll just do one amendment at a time. As a manner of voting, I'll ask for the yeas and nays, and if the vote is clear to me, then I'll declare the result. If there's any question in my mind, I'll ask for a show of hands, and if any of you question my ruling, you can appeal my ruling, and then we can, go to a more precise method of voting. Finally, just in terms of the general outline of the meeting, the first 11 articles, which I think will be 2 through 12, are the revenue articles, are the expenditure articles for the budget, and they authorize the board to expend a certain amount in each of the line item categories. After that, there are articles which are the revenue articles to raise the funds to fund the budget. So I guess with that, we'll start with Article 2. Is there a motion on Article 2?
I move to adopt Article 2 as recommended.
Second.
This article includes negotiated salaries and benefits for regular
And
education.
can everyone hear?
This article includes negotiated salaries and benefits for regular education, instructional staff, supplies, professional development, contracted services, and copier maintenance costs.
So it's been moved and seconded on Article 2 to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for regular instruction, including alternative education, English language learners instruction, and gifted and talented education. And the school board recommends $9,442,965. So the current motion is to approve the amount recommended by the school board under Article 2. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of Article 2 as recommended, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. I think the ayes have it. Article 2 is approved. Article 3, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for special education. School board recommends $3,802,011.
I move to adopt the Article 3 as recommended.
Second.
This article includes negotiated salaries and benefits for special education administration and instructional staff, special education legal costs, and tuition costs for out-of-district placement. Special education provides services as required by law.
Okay, Article 3 has been moved and seconded as recommended. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. This is a tough group. Article 4. To see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for career and technical education, co-op pathways program, and capital area technical center tuition. This is an editorial comment, but this may be the dumbest article that state law requires, because state law also requires that you raise zero, but they require you put it on the ballot. So the school board recommends zero for Article 4.
I move to adopt Article 4 as recommended.
Second.
The state of Maine has changed funding and expense for CATC, so we no longer need to budget this tuition.
Any discussion on Article 4? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of Article 4, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Article 4 is approved. Article 5, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for other instruction, co-curricular, extracurricular, and regular education, summer instruction. School board recommends $658,563.
I move to adopt Article 5 as recommended.
Second.
This article includes activities in middle and high school such as sports, plays, math team, speech and debate, and student senate. The expenses in this article are for coaches' salaries, official services, supplies, equipment, dues, and fees. This article also includes salaries and benefits for summer regular education instructional programs.
Any discussion on Article 5? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of Article 5, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Article 5 is approved. Article 6, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for student support, guidance, health, technology, and staff support, improvement of instruction and staff training, curricular library assessment. School board recommends $2,479,734.
I move to adopt Article 6 as recommended.
Second.
This article includes negotiated salary and benefits for staff and directors in the above-mentioned departments, district-wide professional development, and other assessment, testing, and supplies.
Any discussion on Article 6? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Article 6 is approved. Article 7, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for system administration, school board and superintendent's office. School board recommends $847,365.
I move to adopt Article 7 as recommended.
Second.
This article includes negotiated salary and benefits for central office staff, school board stipends, contracted services for legal and audit, legal liability insurance, and supplies for the school board and central office.
Article 7 has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All opposed, say nay. Just keeping you awake. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Article 8, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for school administration, principals' offices. School board recommends $1,440,086.
I move to adopt Article 8 as recommended.
Second.
This article includes negotiated salary and benefits for principals and secretaries, principal professional development, accreditation costs, supplies, dues, and fees.
Article 8 has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 8 is approved. Article 9, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for transportation and buses. The school board recommends $1,340,162.
I move to adopt Article 9 as recommended.
Second.
This article includes negotiated salary and benefits for transportation, administration, mechanic, bus drivers, mandated physicals, drug testing, repairs, vehicle insurance, fuel, supplies, and each purser's payments.
Any discussion on Article 9? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 9 is approved. Article 10, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for facilities maintenance. School board recommends $4,031,361.
I move to adopt Article 10 as recommended.
Second.
This article includes negotiated salary and benefits for maintenance, administration, custodians, and school resource officer, utilities, including electricity, oil, propane, telephone, contracted services for snow plowing, heating systems and roof monitoring, building repairs and projects, painting and supplies. It also includes the facilities repair bond principal and interest payment.
Any discussion on Article 10? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 10 is approved. Article 11, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for debt service and other commitments. The school board recommends $0.
I move to adopt Article 11 as recommended.
Second.
That's all I got.
It's been moved and seconded on Article 11. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Article 11 is approved. Article 12, to see what sum the RSU will be authorized to expend for all other expenditures, food services, reimbursable transportation. School board recommends $114,337.
I move to adopt Article 12 as recommended.
Second.
This article includes local dollar support of the food service program and reimbursable transportation provided for RSU number 38 towns and recreation programs.
Any discussion on Article 12? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 12 is approved. Does everybody have a booklet that shows Article 13? Because I think I see someone in the audience making a motion to waive the reading of Article 13. I thought I saw you. Is there a second to that? Okay. Any discussion of waiving the reading? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. We've voted to waive the reading of Article 13. That takes us to the main motion on Article 13.
I move to adopt Article 13 as recommended.
Second.
State mandated explanation, RSU's number 38's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act is the amount of money determined by state law to be the minimum amount that RSU 38 must raise and assess in order to receive the full amount of state dollars. In other words, this article gives the minimum amount that each town will pay based on the ED 279 state subsidy report, and that RSU 38 must raise and assess in order to receive the full amount of state dollars.
Any discussion on Article 13? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 13 is approved. Article 14, to see what sum the RSU will raise and appropriate for the annual payments on debt service previously approved by the legislative body for non-state school-funded construction projects or non-state funded portions of school construction projects, in addition to the funds appropriated as the local share of the RSU's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12. School board recommends 0.
I move to adopt Article 14 as recommended.
Second.
State mandated explanation. Non-state funded debt service is the amount of money needed for the annual payments on RSU 38's long-term debt for major capital school construction projects that are not approved for state subsidy. The bonding of this long-term debt was previously approved by the voters.
Moved and seconded for Article 14. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 14 is approved. Article 15, to see what sum the RSU will raise and appropriate in additional local dollars in support of the food service program. School board recommends $105,000.
I move to adopt Article 15 as recommended.
Second.
This money helps fund the school's food service programs and equipment replacement.
Article 15 has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the school board recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Article 15 is approved. Article 16, to see what sum the RSU will raise and appropriate in additional local funds. Recommended $7,177,562, which exceeds the state's essential programs and services allocation model by that same amount, $7,177,562, as required to fund the budget recommended by the school board. Is there a motion?
I move to adopt Article 16 as recommended.
Second.
Moved and seconded on Article 16. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I can't call for a vote because state law requires this be done by a written ballot. And I believe you were all handed a ballot when you came in to sign in, and I think you're supposed to vote on the pink ballot.
Pink.
Pink.
So please vote on Article 16 on the pink ballot. And where are the ballot boxes? Okay, the ballot cans are, the clerks have them. So after you voted, put them into one of the cans. Okay, the results on Article 15 are 89 yes, 5 no. 89 yes, 5 no. So Article 15 is approved. Um,
16.
I'm sorry, Article 16 is approved. Article 17, I believe the gentleman with the beard and the plaid suit is making a motion to waive the reading. It's been moved and seconded to waive the reading of Article 17 and all subsequent articles. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. That motion is approved. Is there a motion on Article 17?
I move to adopt Article 17 as recommended.
Second.
This article authorizes the school board to spend the recommended budget in the fiscal year 2027. The school board cannot spend an amount above the authorized budget.
Is there any discussion of Article 17? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 17 is approved. Article 18, is there a motion?
I move to adopt Article 18 as recommended.
Second.
This article authorizes the school board to use the entire additional state subsidy to reduce local assessments.
Any discussion on Article 18? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 18 is approved. Article 19,
I
is there a
move to-
motion?
I move to adopt Article 19 as recommended.
Second.
This article covers academics, vocational, as well as enrichment programs offered to the adult education program.
Is there any discussion on Article 19? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 19 is approved. Article 20, is there a motion?
I move to adopt Article 20 as recommended.
Second.
This article allows the school board to pursue and use funds that may be received through unexpected grants or donations and grant applications that are made by members of the regional school unit, staff, or community. We do not include a specific amount due to the unpredictability of the receipt of the funds and because most are dedicated to a specific project or purpose. Examples of some of the funding we received in 2025-2026 are Title 1A for $168,158, Title 2A for $54,892, Title 4 for $16,711, Title 5, Rural Low Income, $6,149, Local Entitlement, $411,876, and other miscellaneous grants, $50,000. The estimated income for the upcoming year is $707,786. $707,786.
That was $707,786.
Correct.
All in favor of, or is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 20 is approved. Article 21,
I move to adopt Article 21 as recommended.
Second.
This article covers the establishment of a capital reserve fund and the expenditure as needed.
any discussion of Article 21? If not, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 21 is approved. Article 22,
I move to adopt Article 22 as recommended.
Second.
This article covers the establishment of a special education reserve fund and the expenditure as needed.
Any discussion on Article 22? Not, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 22 is approved. Article 23.
I move to adopt Article 23 as recommended.
Second.
This article renews the contract for school privileges between the RSU 38 School Board and the Fayette School Department to accept tuition students grades 6 to 12. This is a renewal of an agreement that began in 2011. Current year revenue is $875,000.
Any discussion on Article 23? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Article 23 is approved. There are no further articles on the warrant. As most of you know, we can elect the President of the United States with one election, but in order to adopt a school budget, it takes 2 elections. This meeting and then a referendum to validate what happened at this meeting. And I understand that referendum vote will be conducted on June 9th, and the voting on that will be in each of your towns. So in order to complete the adoption of the school budget, you'll have to vote again on June 9th. With that, unless there's other business, it's been moved. I don't think you can get a second on that. Move to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Board members, stay where you are. We have paperwork.